Hey, it's Grandpapa. I'm here to read you a story today. So get comfortable, and Benny Bucktooth and I will read you a story. Today's story will be about the Velveteen Rabbit. Yeah, a good story for rabbits. And so why don't you get comfy, get yourself something to drink, get your favorite toy or pillow or whatever to make yourself comfortable, and we'll be right back. Okay? So today we're going to read The Velveteen Rabbit. And this is a story about a rabbit that comes to life. Okay? So, once upon a time, there was a Velveteen Rabbit, and he was nearly perfect. He had smooth spotted fur, real thread whiskers, and his ears were lined with the softest pink satin. On Christmas morning, he was sticking out of the top of a boy's stocking, just waiting to be found. So you can see the rabbit there. For a long time after Christmas, the Velveteen Rabbit lived in a toy chest in the nursery with all of the other toys. The other toys were not very nice, and the mechanical toys were particularly unfriendly. They were always bragging about this and that and never gave a second thought or a kind word to the rabbit, to you. The rabbit felt very unloved. The only toy that was nice to him was the rocking horse. So here we have the toy chest and the rocking horse. The rocking horse had been in the nursery longer than any of the other toys. He was very wise. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day. The rocking horse said, "Real is something that happens to you. When a child loves you, not just to play, but really loves you, you become real." The rabbit thought about this for a moment. "Are you real?" The rocking horse smiled. "I am. When you become real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts forever and ever." The rabbit thought how nice it would be to be real. That's the rocking horse talking to the rabbit. Something wonderful happened. The boy picked up the rabbit and took him to bed. From then on, the rabbit looked forward to bedtime. The boy would tell him stories, and together they would play games. Of course, sometimes the boy hugged the rabbit so tightly, and other times the rabbit ended up so far underneath the pillow that he could hardly breathe. But most nights, he and the boy just snuggled together all night long. The boy and the rabbit. Springtime came, and whenever the boy went out, the rabbit did the same too. They spent lots of time outside. One evening, the boy went to dinner and left the rabbit in the garden. But when it came time to go to sleep that night, the boy insisted that his mother go out and find the rabbit. "All this fuss for a silly old rabbit," said the boy's mom, as she wiped the dirt from the rabbit's fur. "He's not a toy," answered the boy, grabbing the rabbit. "He's real." When the rabbit heard that, he knew what the rocking horse had said was true. At last he was real, because the boy had said so. Being out in the garden at night is kind of scary, don't you think? One day, that summer, the boy went off on his own while the rabbit waited for him in the grass. Suddenly the rabbit saw two strange creatures. They were rabbits just like him, but somehow they looked a little different. "Why don't you run and play with us?" said the rabbit. "I don't feel like it," answered the other rabbit. But while the rabbit did want to jump and play like the other rabbits, he just couldn't. Then one of the rabbits said, and sniffed the rabbit and came close. "He doesn't smell right. He doesn't even have hind legs." "You got hind legs right there." "Well, I'm real," the rabbit shouted. "The boy has said so." Just then there came footsteps. The two strange rabbits disappeared. "Come back! I know I'm real." And the boy and the rabbits. The rabbit became more and more worn. He didn't mind though. The rabbit knew that because the boy had made him real, it didn't matter how he looked. But one horrible day, the boy became very, very sick. Lots of doctors came and went in the boy's room, but they never noticed the rabbit. And the rabbit was glad. He knew the boy needed him. After a long time, the boy was better. But the germs that had made him sick were everywhere. All the toys had been thrown away. Out went the mechanical toys, the books, the blocks. Out went the rabbit. See, the boy is sick, and he has the rabbit. The rabbit found himself at the top of a stack. The scattered toys with nothing to do but sit and think. He thought about the boy, and then he thought about what the rocking horse had told him. What was the point of being real if it all ended up like this? At that moment, he began to cry. But then a strange thing happened. Where the rabbit's tear had fallen, a flower grew out of the ground. And he was so beautiful that the rabbit just sat and stared. Suddenly, the flower blossom opened and a fairy appeared. See the fairy? See the fairy? Yeah. That's the fairy. The fairy came close to the rabbit. "Little rabbit," she said, "I'm the nursery magic fairy. I take care of all the playthings that the children have loved. When the children don't need them anymore, I take them away with me and make them real." "Wasn't I real before?" asked the rabbit. "You were real to the boy because he loved you," the fairy said. "Now you'll be real to everyone." She flew them to the field where the many wild rabbits danced and played. "I brought you a new playmate," she said. "You must teach him all that he needs to know to be a rabbit." She flew him. The rabbit watched at the other rabbits. He didn't want anyone to know that he was made all in one piece. The fairy had changed him completely, but he didn't know that yet. Then something tickled his nose, and he raised his hind leg to scratch it. And he discovered that he had hind legs. He leapt high into the air and gave a whoop of joy. Yippee! The seasons had passed. In the spring, the boy was playing in the yard when two rabbits crept out to peep at him. One looked so familiar. He looks just like my old rabbit I used to play with that I got lost when I was sick, the boy thought. But he never knew that it was really his own rabbit who had helped him come back to see his child for the first time, because he had made him real. See, he's a real rabbit now. Real rabbit. So that's the story of the Velveteen Rabbit. You like that story? Yeah, I bet you did. I hope you enjoyed it. And Grandpapa will be back another time, another place, for another story. So I hope you enjoyed this. And we shall see you very soon. Good night. See you later. Say good night. Bye. See you later.